This is a burden stitch as well. It just is not a couching one, it's a running stitch version. So I'm going to come up on the right side because I'm right-handed. If you were left-handed, you would just come up on the left. And we're going to do a running stitch. We're going to do longer stitches on top of the fabric, then just catch a couple threads as short as we can that's going on the bottom. And we would like to have the same spacing. So you can load your needle up and pull through. And then again, keep going. It just depends on the shape you're wanting to fill in. And when you get to the end of the line, you're just going to take your needle through to the back. Then I'm going to rotate my work 180 degrees so I can still work from right to left. I'm going to come up above that line. And this time when I go back through, I'm going to take my short stitch in the center of each of my long stitches here. So it'll just be like a half stitch at the beginning on the first stitch. Take a stitch. So I'm going pretty close. I'm not trying to make it satin stitch. And you can play with your spacing. Just depends on how dense a fill you want. And then when I get to the end of that row, again, I take my thread to the back. I'm going to rotate my work again 180 degrees. And this time, I'm just going on the other side of my first one that I put in. So just alternating back and forth because I'm always working on the top. If you're comfortable working on the bottom, go for it. So again, I'm taking my short stitch halfway in the middle of the longer one there and just doing that all the way down. So I'm trying to get a staggered looking stitch. So here's my gap, here's my gap, here's my long stitch. So it looks kind of like bricks or a basket weave. So most of your thread stays on top with this one. And then I just keep repeating the same thing. I will rotate again 180 degrees and I will come in at the end of that line and I will skip over that gap because this was my half stitch basically. Take a short stitch in the middle of that one. We want our thread to lay flat on the fabric when we pull it through. We don't want puckers. We are not trying to gather our fabric. And I rotate again. And I just keep doing this back and forth until I fill in whatever shape it is that I'm working on. This is a pretty easy one. So that's really all there is to the burden stitch. That's the running stitch version.